Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of All Things Football from a lady's perspective. I'm your host, Sonia. Starting, can you believe it, week 6 of the NFL season. Now, last week did not disappoint. I'm not going to even waste your time by going through the winners and losers of last week, but I will point out a few. Let's go ahead and get the ugly part out the way. The Panthers are 0-5. No one is surprised. No one's even really talking about it anymore. Now that fifth L has dropped, like, what is there to say? Our O-line is horrendous. And what the sad part is, we traded DJ Moore, who absolutely balled out with the Bears last week. And we are giving up our first 2024 pick to the Bears. So at the rate we're going, we traded for Bryce as a first round pick from the Bears, and we're giving up our next first round pick. Horrible. Now, the word on the street is the Panthers are looking for a wide receiver, but guess what? The Falcons beat us to it. They have a wide receiver, and they are definitely ready to go on Sunday against the Washington Redskins. Tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football, beginning of week 6, the Kansas City Chiefs with Travis Kelce with a questionable ankle injury. He did not practice for the second day in a row against the Denver Broncos with their solo win. The sidelines were ugly with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson looking like they just absolutely will not mesh. Dallas got absolutely wrangled by the 49ers. Are you surprised? They have a love-hate relationship. But Jerry Jones goes on the record and says, don't get it twisted. We still think Dak will take us to the Super Bowl. And so do the Cowboys fans. Even though there are some Cowboys fans out there that are saying Dak is just not it. But we're going to the Super Bowl. So we will see. Anthony Richardson went down, and he is now on IR for the Colts. Second injury that he's had already, with this just being 5 weeks past. And he fell on that right shoulder in Sunday's game. He is out indefinitely. And head coach Shane Steichen is saying there's no specific timeline on when he can return. Who do you guys have going forward? Now, Travis Kelce being questionable is huge on a lot of everyone's fantasies. You know, we kind of got a little scare a few weeks ago with him and a hamstring. But looks like he was back, and now it's not so sure. Is the Vikings actually entertaining talks of Kirk Cousins being traded? You like that? Kirk doesn't want to go, but this is the NFL, and it stands for not for long. 4 things to watch for in the Broncos-Chiefs matchup on Prime. 1 being the injury of Travis Kelce, the need that Sean Payton is looking for that much coveted win in the 6th week as they need their second win. And I don't know, y'all. To me, it's falling all the way apart. It's beginning to unravel. Now, I did say I wasn't going to go through the scores, but there are a few scores that I just have to highlight from last week. Denver is going into this game as 1-4, and Kansas is going into the game as 4-1. Derrick Henry and crew are now 2-3. The Baltimore Ravens are 3-2. Now, this was a week of upsets. And, y'all, my pick'ems got destroyed because there was quite a few teams that I just absolutely didn't see it happening. The Buffalo Bills went into London on a Friday for a Sunday game against the Jags, who had already been over there for an entire week prior after they played the Falcons. So they were much, feeling royal, as they say. And the Bills lost. The Jags beat them. No one saw that coming. Washington and Atlanta this week. Derek Ritter looked really good this past Sunday. Maybe they are rewarding him with this wide receiver. He even ran for his own touchdown, y'all. He wanted to make sure he solidified his confidence in Falcons fans. Falcons are now 3-2, tied for second in the NFC South. Washington coming to town is 2-3. Minnesota and Chicago are both 1-4, and they look like they're going to stay that way. Seattle, Geno Smith, looking still easy peasy out there, 3-1. The Bengals are 2-3. Joe Burrow, just not there. Joe Mixon, not sure what this team is looking like from their playoff contender days from just last season. San Francisco, them and the Eagles are the only 5-0 teams going into week number 6. Philadelphia 5-0. San Francisco, Brock Purdy and company, 5-0. Cleveland Browns with Deshaun just 2-2. New Orleans Saints, like I said, tied for number 2, 3-2. And the Houston Texans are 2-3. Now, the Texans did take that L to Atlanta, which I was shocked because C.J. Stroud looks amazing, y'all. Indianapolis, even though they lost Anthony Richardson, they are now 3-2, as well as Jacksonville Jaguars are 3-2. Carolina's going to go to Miami this coming Sunday, and they are 0-5 against Tua Tagovailoa. And I am always betting on my team, but knowing that's going to be the L I take every time if that's the case, because if Tua is balling out in Miami like he is everywhere else, they're going to go 5-1, and Panthers will then be 0-6. Is it just me, or I know I've had this discussion in my group, all things football from a ladies' perspective. That's me. But the official Carolina Pantherettes, the all-ladies fan club of the Carolina Panthers, we've had this discussion in there where people leave our team and just ball out. We just cannot seem to solidify a solid team. We had an O-line, but we traded them. And now we don't have the O-line for Bryce. And people are calling for Andy Dalton to play so he can at least absorb those hits that the O-line is allowing. But Adam Thielen is a great weapon. DJ Chark is a great weapon. Chuba Hubbard, of course, great weapon, but they are not the O-line. They are the receivers. So I hope we don't go 0-6, y'all, but it's likely. New England, Bill Belichick, for the first time in history, has dropped, I think, 13 in a row, 1-4. Should have never gotten rid of Tom, lest you know it's not the Belichick way. It was the Brady way. Y'all remember Tom came to Tampa Bay and got a ring in his first year, right after he left the Patriots? It's Tom, y'all. Patriots are 1-4 for the first time in a long time. Las Vegas Raiders 2-3. Detroit 4-1, looking good with Dan Campbell and company. Tampa Bay sitting pretty at the top of the NFC South is 3-1. Arizona, another 1-4 team. There are a lot of 1-4 teams, y'all. LA Rams 2-3. Philadelphia, like I said, 5-0. The New York Jets 2-3. New York Giants, another 1-4 team. And I think there's something going down with Mr. Jones at the helm of that. Buffalo, with Josh Allen staying steadily on the track at 3-2. Your fantasy players coming up, make sure you pull Kelsey. Make sure you pull Anthony Richardson. Make sure you pay attention to the injury report that is forever being updated. Other than that, we got the typical ballers. We got Jalen Hurts. We got Christian McCaffrey, who absolutely balled out, breaking records against Jerry Rice and whoever else. And that whole 49ers defense is something to recognize. Pull all these injured people out. That's all I got for tonight. Thanks for giving me a little bit of your time. Follow me, subscribe, so that you can get this show every Wednesday between 6, 8, 9. But it's every Wednesday. All things football. As always, good luck to your team, and go Panthers.